I give the call to the Deputy Leader of the Opposition.
My question is to the Prime Minister, and I refer to his promise to always fess up and correct the record when he gets it wrong. Last year, the RBA Governor apologised to any Australian affected by his advice that interest rates would stay low. Prior to the election, the Prime Minister went even further than Governor Lowe and actually promised cheaper mortgages. Why has the Prime Minister failed to offer the same apology? Why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Order. Members on my right will cease interjecting. The Prime Minister will be heard in silence. I give him the call.
Thanks for the question. Well, I'm going to. The member for Cook has had a bit to say in their party room, so I'm going to add to his public statements now with what he said about shared equity schemes and what it would do, which is the question that I'm asked about. What the member for Cook said was this. We suggested that the government take out of that $8 billion they have put aside.
Prime Minister will pause for a moment. I cannot hear a word the Prime Minister is saying. The member for Page is warned. The Leader of the Opposition will cease interjecting. I call the Prime Minister and I want to hear what the Prime Minister is saying.
Mr. Speaker, I'm asked about shared equity schemes, and I'm quoting the member for Cook. I'm quoting the member for Cook because shared equity mortgages are a really great opportunity. That's what they had to say. And you know what he said? Why he said it was a great opportunity? He said this, and that you can reduce your payments. That's what he had to say about shared equity. We need some more options for people to stay in their homes and shared equity.
Prime Minister will pause a moment. The Deputy Leader of the Opposition on a point of order.
On a point of order and relevance, Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister promised to reduce interest rates.
Resume your seat. That is not a point of order. Resume your seat. The Prime Minister was asked a question about election commitments regarding mortgages and the prices and about the costs imposed with interest rates. The Prime Minister is in order. He's answering the question about his election commitments, and I give him the call.
And the Deputy Leader of the Opposition has asked a question about our election campaign launch, which is about our shared equity scheme, our Help to Buy scheme, launched in Perth. You remember Perth? I'll give you a reminder. Swan, Pearce, Stanley, Hasler.
Order.
You remember Perth?
The Prime Minister will return to the question. The Prime Minister will return to the question. The Prime Minister will return to the question.
When we announced the shared equity scheme, we did so because in WA it has existed for some time. In Victoria there's now a scheme, and of course the Liberal government in New South Wales has announced a scheme as well. But I'm also asked about the context of helping out cost of living.
Members on my left.
Those opposite and the Leader of the Opposition had an idea when he was the Minister about cost of living. The first chance he got, he wanted to raise the cost of seeing a GP by $7. His other big idea was to raise the cost of prescriptions by $5. We've gone down by $12.50, they went up by $5. But of course there's a link between primary health care and emergency departments, so let's not think that this wasn't a comprehensive plan, because he also wanted to, here's his idea, the government will remove the restrictions on state and territory governments that prevent hospital emergency departments charging a fee for presentation. He wanted to charge people for fronting up to emergency departments. He wanted to charge people for going to the GP, and he wanted to lift the price of medicines. That was his plan on cost of living.
Has concluded.